Okay, the customer brought this in. They did pick up another unit from me, but this is one of the units he had in his vehicle previous. It was a LS swap, and they had an issue where the unit didn't work, but I think only for, what he stay, only like 20 miles or something, then it was burned up. Suppose it was a brand new unit, and it was purchased, I believe, online. I'll have to ask him from where, but like I said, it did not last but more than 10-20 miles. The customer stated it was supposed to be fully rebuilt, but you know, we'll see. From the way it smells, it smells like it's pretty bad, really. Smells like it's, oh yeah, it's cooked pretty good. Yeah, I got a bunch of them to tear down. But it was a core that he gave me for the one that he did purchase. Definitely a lot of clutch material in there. At least the servo is free. Let's see, they put the spring in? Yeah. I put the snap ring in right at least. Most people put that snap ring in wrong. Makes it a pain to get out sometimes. And they said it was supposed to have a Corvette servo in it. Obviously it doesn't. It's just a factory servo. Be a little limited on room here. Got lucky with that. Usually those are so rusted, you gotta torch them out. I guess it's rebuilt, it's been spray painted, right? So it must be good to go. Get some of this moved out of the way. Like crap everywhere. Some of this shit. Yeah, it's definitely a stinker. Damn, they do glue this on? Yeah, it's a torque converter clutch or just burnt plates like normal. Careful taking these off because these hold a lot of fluid still. cheap cork gasket. Okay. You gotta watch, these will fly away on you. Well, it's definitely not a new solenoid. That's an original OEM from whenever this was put in the vehicle, so it's definitely not new. The valve body wasn't lined up right. The reason that was coming out so hard. Only double stack the accumulators, which you can do, just makes it shift a little hard. Most of the time shifts too hard. No, they didn't double stack, they just had a really big spring in it. And yeah, it's messy. Clean some of this fluid up. The housing looks good still. I wouldn't have used that. I would have just put a pinless accumulator in it. I would have put the correct spring in it. I would have drilled out the plate appropriate for the way you want it to shift. Not just put a really stiff spring or double stack the accumulator like most people do. Because when you do that, it's gonna always shift hard no matter what throttle you're into it with. Well, the wiring harness again isn't new, but it still seems soft and pliable. It hasn't gotten hot, so it's not brittle, but it's not a new wiring harness. Not like from the unit he got from me that was rebuilt. So I always replace the harnesses. I wanted to check too to see the torque on these bolts. I'll do that generally just to see if it was let's torque down to 8. Yeah, I mean that's right. I torque a used one though. I torque them down to 10. But yeah, 8 pounds is where it's supposed to be. So at least that bolt was torqued down correctly. The rest probably were as well. We'll check the remaining 3, see what they were. Got 10.6, just a little bit past. That one was only at 5, and it's not coming out real easy. Eight, 6, so 10 and 8, so might have had a little bit of an issue with bolts not being tightened correctly. Could be. Yeah, see, that's from not lining up the gaskets and the plate correctly. Just like that one was doing. Definitely not new. Looks like it's OEM. Doesn't even have the plastic cover on it. It's totally caked with clutch material. Which, whatever, we kind of figured that anyway. Let's see how they got the balls on it. Let's see. What do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where the hell's the ball? Yeah, that's a problem, Houston. That would definitely cause to smoke your 3/4 plates. Not unless the ball slid down on me in here. We'll find out when we get it the rest of the way down, but it's missing a check ball. And it slipped out of my hand. 3, 4, 5, 6, should be 7, and that one makes 8. There it went. It's that one I dropped. Make sure they got the right gaskets on here too. Let's take a look. Well, I mean, yeah, that's good. I put those pucks in to repair them too, but look how it's, look at the way it's lined up. The gasket is actually being lifted because it's not seating all the way around this, so it's bleeding pressure off of the circuit. So that's not good. But they do have the correct gasket on it. Oh, and it's just loaded with clutch material. But it's the right gasket. That's good, or gaskets. Again, it looks like a shift kit spring. It's not the right one. Check the valve body later. Bore smooth. So the check ball is not sitting in here anywhere. This valve body is really badly contaminated. Let's see, did they update the PWM at all, or did they lock it? No. It's all factory. Should have been pinned shut. This probably gonna need a lot of work if I'm gonna use it again. It's pretty contaminated. Let's see what they did on it. Let's check the forward. So I just left the plastic accumulator in for forward. These are prone to cracking. Always put an aluminum one in or a pinless one. That's what I use, is the pinless. I'm just looking to see if there's a crack on it. No, not yet, but I wouldn't reuse that at all, ever. Get this air gun out of the way, get this park pull off. It's just a lot easier to put it in reverse so it holds that still, or in a park, I mean, where you can get it out of there easy. Well, let's see if that ball's sitting around in here somewhere. Because if not, that would definitely be the reason this thing is cooked. Oh, there it is. So it must have slid out. So it had the ball. It just slid out when I took the bow body off. Now let's see if we can get the pump out without using a puller. Usually you can, but not always. Gotta look real close at that. Grab a little light. This is where they love to wear on this stator tube for the 3/4 clutch. And yeah, it's got, can't see it real good, but right at that edge, there's a nice burr in it. Smooth on the inside, but right here, there's a nice little line going around it. It's gonna allow your 3/4 clutch to bleed. The wear here too for the reverse input. It looks okay. Let's see what the surface looks like. Definitely got some pump chatter in it. Definitely needs a new pump. Pump's wasted. It's all ground up. That's at least, I can feel, it's probably about a 10,000th groove at least from all the contaminant, more than likely. So the pump is bad. Needs to be remachined. Let's see how the rest of it, I know the gear's bad. That's melted. That's bad. Yep, this is bad too. Not as bad, but still bad. So it needs to be resurfaced. It's got the updated spring. Normally you don't see that on an early model like this. Usually it's a double spring. But you can see the chatter marks on this thing. You can see where it's been chattering inside. That's no good. That's no garbage. So this just needs, the bushing's hit too. I just took the bushing out with my hands. Yeah, so it's still good. It's got the lip to retain the bushing, but the bushing is just so wasted. It's lost so much of its material, and then it started to spin inside of here, and it just ground all that down. It's probably leaking, or was gonna leak if it wasn't already. I'll have to call you later. Well, I think the band got hot. I don't know about you, but that band is crispy critter. Wow, totally delaminating. Look at that. When you hear someone say delamination, that's what that is. It got so hot, it just liquefied the glue that bonds that. Junk pile. Gasket. It's the correct gasket. It's got paint on it. That's... They do have paint on the surface of the case? Well, that's just a hydraulic leak fest waiting to happen. I can't say that I've seen that before. Guess they were in a hurry to get this high performance unit painted. Get it out the door. This drum, I can tell by looking at it it's bad. I can see where it's ballooned out right here. You could try and turn this surface, which would be fine, but where this is ballooned, I don't even need to get my straight edge. I can already see it. So the drum's junk. The gap is a little loose on these, so the plates aren't going to be burnt too bad. It's just a little, it's not super bad loose, but they're going to be burnt. Our rubber clutch, yeah, they got real hot, which is fine. I only save the pressure plates. I don't save any of those. And again, I'm going to have to call you back. They just keep calling to answer sometimes. Yeah, I'll pitch the drum, but I'll save the piston and the return spring. This is a good thing to do with your snap rings, just throw them through a spring like that. That way they're stuck. Won't lose it that way. That's El Junco. Lip seals are still soft. And it's cut. So when they installed it, they cut that lip seal. I don't know how well you can see that. See the big chunk missing out of it. That would definitely be why these plates were so heated. Big loss of pressure. Let's see what size spacer they're running. 68, yeah, it's all right. Usually going back with M-Play, you gotta, somewhere between a 66, 67, 68, just depends on each unit. 3/4 clutch gap is every bit of a 1/4 inch. So they're definitely smoked. They do have the return springs in, which they should be. Some people leave them out, and you should never leave them out. They're there to not allow it to drag. Sorry about that. Had an issue. A customer kept calling, knocked the recording off. But yeah, these forward frictions and steels were totally welded to the input sprag. I'm not sure what else you missed, but that's so just getting those off of there. does have a Borg Warner dual cage sprag in it. Which is newer. It's definitely not factory. It would have been like a SKF sprag. The race, believe it or not, even as hot as it got, is still okay. Just need to be cleaned up. I just clean it up on the bench grinder and then hot tank it. See, it would clean up fine. It's just the clutch material from where the clutch is melted. So that'll be okay. The overrun hub is actually still okay. The inner race is actually still good. The sprag I would not reuse. The sprag is going to go in the trash. These could be a little bit of a pain to get off of here sometimes. Can't even get my pick under the darn thing. Yeah, but I would not reuse that or sell that to anyone. But these two pieces I can clean up. These definitely not where it's welded. Let's get the input drum apart. Let's see if any of the pistons are bad. I need my flat blade driver snap ring pliers other than these. I got crap everywhere. Tearing down a ton of cores. And of course I don't see them. I'll try it with the curves. A lot of times I can't get it out of there. Because of that, they always slip off. There we go, I got it. That actually feels really loose because it got so hot. I wouldn't reuse that. That one I would pitch. Well, the piston is still soft. Didn't see any cuts on it. Yeah, see how that one's kind of torsionally twisted. Only on part of it, not all of it. I probably would not reuse that either, just due to the heat that it is getting in here. The housing looks okay. Let's check the other one. Oh, no, it's actually still soft. No cuts. It's good brand, National. It's good molded piston brand. Again, I wouldn't reuse them. They all go in the junk. Ceiling rings. They're new. So at least they replaced those. That one's not. That one's stuck for some reason. It's not wanting to rotate. It should at least spin. Unless it's due to all the debris that's stuck in the fluid. I think that's what it is. I think it's just so dirty and full of metal. Yeah, they got the new O-ring in there, so yeah, I mean the drum was at least assembled with all of its components, but knowing the gap set that they did, can't tell because it's burnt to crispy critterness. I might find something more once I get it out of the hot tank. None of the bushings either in this whole unit I've seen are new, except for that pump bushing. Might have been, might not have. It's hard saying. Well, they have the snap ring in upside down. Won't hurt anything, just makes it a pain usually more than that. Hub feels good. That feels good. The planet feels good. Splines are good. No torsional there, that's good. Again, use bushing, use bushing. The bushing, yeah, that's been causing some issues. Might have, you see where the bushing's actually, it's probably hard to see, but it's got a real sharp edge there. You can see the shiny surface where the bushing has dropped down a little too far, where it rides on the output shaft. We'll see once we get into it a little further. But I would just put a new bushing in it, buff this up. If the bushing doesn't fit correctly, then yeah, I'd scrap it, but Sun shell is a nice shell. It's heat treated. It's not a beast or a monster. It's just a standard heat treated Taiwan shell, standard thickness. But it's, you can see where it's black. That's not from the heat in the unit from when they made the shell to keep it from breaking. Let's see what this thing here. That's just stupidity right there. I mean, there's two bushings in it. I get it. Sonics makes a tall bushing to put in there. Part of the problem is though, they're blocking the oil passage with this bushing. And it's not even lined up. There's a groove, that groove in the bushing, there's a groove in the bushing, and you should have lined up with that oil groove to help properly lubricate the inside of here. Double stacking it like that, and it's even crooked, which I'm surprised there's no wear on here. That's kind of surprising, but yeah, that's kind of weird. I've never seen that one before. Try and get some of this fluid out of here. Oh, it smells like rotten eggs, man. It's the sulfur breakdown in the fluid when it gets so hot. I can see it's got a new Borg Warner low roller sprag in it too. Well, the snap ring is installed totally wrong for the center support. Again, just makes it a little more of a pain sometimes to get them out of here. Come on. The race is good. The sprag, I mean, if it wasn't holding, you'd have a lot more noticeable. The springs would be all falling. But it's just, I mean, it just would fall apart in my hand. I made that come out of there, not on purpose. But I don't reuse any of the sprags or sell them to anybody. I will reuse the support though. Just needs cleaned up. Unless it's real burnt here, but it's not. It looks fine. It's just dirty. Let's see how this rear planet looks. Just checking the bearing, the captured bearing down inside there. If it was bad, you'd feel it. If it was real bad, you'd hear it, but planet's good, so that's bonus. A lot of times those are bad. Low inverse clutches, crispy, not totally destroyed, but, and they're all original OEM too with the stampings. So they sold them a rebuilt unit that's not rebuilt or partially. As to why it failed so quickly, I'm just guessing because they cut the lip seals and they didn't know what they were doing on their stack ups, more than likely.